I think I can't remember where I sort of came to this conclusion. Um, I think it was with who were we speaking to? I can't remember who it is now. But essentially, it's like true success lies not in just achieving like all these goals and like having like this
I think it was
fancy
Oscar
car.
who
Was it
said
with
that.
Oscar? Oh, it was with Oscar. You're right. It's like you need to know yourself, like know thyself, like know what you want truly.
Yeah.
And then only when you align yourself with your inner true sort of, what do you call it? Like if you want something, your desires,
yeah.
and you work towards that, then you'll find ultimate, like not fulfillment, but it's like you'll find a sense of peace in that purpose. There's passion behind that on your journey towards that, because it's very easy to get caught up in the like, oh, my name is Quentin Weber and I make 20K a month in this industry, okay? And like you do not want to become attached to your entire identity to I am what I do or I am what I have. That's like the D1, D2, and D3. You guys understand what we're talking about right now? It's a different consciousness.
Go into that right
Yeah,
now.
we definitely need a segment from this into that right now.
Yeah.
But it's like you want to transcend that, okay? Because you are not what you have. You are not what you do. In fact, you are.
Exactly.
You are the thing that you are experiencing right now. Like you are that thing thinking. And I think it's very important. In fact, let's use this segment to get into this entire just conversation. So what do you call this? Do like a brief overview of the 9 different things, and then we can break down each one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you can pre-frame it as well if you think people need to know something before we get into it or whatever, because a lot of people might be in D1, 2, or 3, and we know that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's, I think we'll take it back to the original kind of story that I told both of you guys on that night, and what kind of really brought it down and deep. So I think it was probably 3 weeks now. So I had an experience where God visited me. And so I'll take it a little bit back before that. So the night before that happened, I went out to another networking dinner in Sydney, my hometown. And that was from a bunch of Capital Club guys, if anybody knows that. Some of my friends invited me out to that. We had dinner, it was nice. But then after that, we went to a cigar lounge where, you start to chill, have deeper conversations. We talked about God, we talked about future, our past, what we wanted our lives to be like in the next 10 years. And not a lot of people, even think about that in the first place, but we were all asking each other about that.
So if you enjoy this conversation and you relate with the health and wealth aspect, and both of these are very important when it comes to scaling a business or just as an entrepreneur in general, top link in the description if you want a more personalized approach, to scaling a business or in the health aspect as well. And also in the description is access to our free community where we've got 20 hours of content that you can just consume.
100%. If you enjoy this conversation, share it to a friend. Maybe think about subscribing. Put the notifications on. It helps this channel a lot. And by doing so, we can get some more interesting guests like this. So let's get back to the video.
And we had another conversation as well about like shrooms. I don't know what they're called, like psychedelics, right? So like shrooms, DMT, ayahuasca. So we had that conversation, and from my, the past 3 months of learning about psychology, about mindset, about consciousness, I've heard a lot about shrooms. So I've already been wanting to try it. And so I haven't tried it yet, but that was the conversation that we had. That was a Sunday night. Monday night, the next day, I was extremely stressed with the business, with hiring at night. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but I went to bed to pray, right? Extremely stressed. And then for whatever reason, when I was praying, I just switched in my head and I thanked God for all the stress. And then as I was praying, when you go down into sleep, like you get down closer into the sleep level, I think it's the theta state that Ibrahim talks about, right? All of a sudden, instead of actually like shutting off and sleeping, my mind separated from my body. And I felt like I was floating outside of myself, right? I went into the spiritual plane, I guess you could say. And so from that, I felt God visited me, and what I realized was that God was energy, right? So I saw like this wave of energy above me, and it was essentially God coming here to give me a vision and give me energy, right? And what I saw from that experience and that vision was essentially I saw the people around me, why they were in my life. I saw my future. I saw my past, even through my parents' perspective. Like, I don't know how it happened, or like, I can't really explain much of what happened, but I essentially like went into the spiritual plane and like just saw everything. It was kind of the craziest experience. But then after, I'll fast forward a little bit. After this experience, I spoke to some guys and realized that this was actually some sort of DMT experience, which is a natural, I think it's a human hormone that gets released about like in the last 7 minutes of your life. Like when you're about to pass away, your body naturally releases DMT, and you kind of, you know, when people say your life flashes before your eyes and you see everything, that's the experience I had about 3 weeks ago now. And so from that experience, I reached a level that is called 8D in terms of consciousness, which I'll kind of go into now. But essentially, it's like unlocking such a level of consciousness that you can identify every lower layer of the consciousness now and kind of see the moments where you are acting within that certain level. And so let me quickly break it down. It's very interesting. I'm sorry if that story was a little bit long. Actually, let me pull it up on my screenshot. I got it here. So there's 9 levels of dimensions, and I watched this from a video a few days after this experience, and it kind of put everything into perspective and made it like so much more obvious, and it actually put a label on what I experienced. So,
and even just before we continue, even if you're not spiritual or in any way, like, just give this situation the potential to make a shift in your life. Because like when you listen to what this is gonna like, or how he's gonna explain this and synthesize information, it's 100% gonna make sense to you. Like you will listen to this, experience it, and it will make sense. And whatever you do with that afterwards is up to you. So
we can put a screenshot as well.
Send this to me afterwards.
For sure. So let's go through the levels then. So there's 1D all the way up to 9D. And essentially these are different levels of consciousness that different people in the world experience and are, I guess, vibrating at a certain point in time. So right now we're all about 4, 5D, like we can really understand it because we're consciously thinking of it. But let me break these down. And I'm not an expert at all. I just watched this video and it kind of unlocked an understanding for me. So 1D is the level where there's like no consciousness, essentially black holes, parasites. And how you can think of this is that, like, if you know what a black hole is, it just sucks all of the energy out of whatever region it's in. So black holes in space, they suck out the light. They're just completely parasitic beings, right? There's no consciousness at all in them.
Is this a level of NPCs or is that?
No.
This is not the level of NPCs.
It's like looking at someone that's already passed away and you look at their eyes and there's nothing.
So this is like 1D is more like an animalistic level of consciousness. So you see animals, you're like, when you see like lower level animals, you can tell that like there's nothing going on up here. Like there's no consciousness, right? They're just acting upon instinct, and that's more towards 1D. And then now 2D is a level of you are what you have. So this is, in this video, it's explained as narcissists. So essentially, all your worth, all your personal worth is tied to what you have. So if I have this phone, I'm the guy that has this phone, right? I have the camera, I have the mic, whatever the case may be, I have the watch, okay? And so 2D is you're really tied to what you have, and that's your entire identity, right?
And like removing that thing is gonna remove power of this person because his entire ego and his entire personality is embodied in this thing. It's like, I am the guy with the Porsche. Like that's me. I'm this rich guy because I got the Porsche. Now someone takes away that Porsche, who are you now?
Exactly.
Is your identity the Porsche? Is that what it is?
Exactly.